Hello and welcome to this video where we will be discussing Latvia's Supernova national final due to take place later on this week. I'm here with an actual Latvian,
Yay.
Aivis, from our team.
Hello.
Latvian in America.
Yes, in Detroit right now where it's 6 a.m. So everything for Latvia.
Great. So thankfully, the Latvian broadcaster made our lives very easy by cutting down the crop of songs to a nice 9. I think that 9's a good number. We can discuss whether they could have just added another 1 to make it 10. But I think they did a great job of generally shortlisting the contestants. So we have like I said, a 9-song national final. There was previously a kind of auditions round where we got to see each of the songs performed live in like a demo version. And since the studio versions have come out and there's been a bit more discussion around who the actual contenders are, and that the fat has kind of been trimmed off this joint of meat. So the national final taking place on Saturday, the 8th of February, I think. And we'll be kicking off with Celeste's Like Me, an odd start, and then closing with Samantha Tina's Still Breathing. So Aivis, as a Latvian, what are your thoughts of Supernova this year compared to previous years?
It is very confusing. I must be honest. I want a little bit more transparency, and I think everyone who talks to me knows that. In the last couple of years, I really disliked the ways that we had televoting, which really watered it down and made it all about jury. And this year, it seems to be going in the right direction. So as far as we know, I think it's going to be just 50-50, wherein televoters, perhaps internet voters, will be able to vote. I am a big supporter of it. I'd like them to publish more information. Their own website said they'll do it last month. They haven't done it. So you know what? That's just technicalities. In terms of quality of music, I think it's much better than last year. I think, again, we have one big favorite, and I think that's a good thing. Maybe she can bring us back to the final. Who knows? But I kind of like the attempt to have a little bit of alternative approach to Eurovision, because some of the songs, clearly, when you listen, are not typical for Eurovision, and we can talk about them in a bit. But I'm generally happy with it.
That's good. I feel like when the songs first came out, you were a bit you weren't very happy. Would it be fair to say that some of the songs have grown on you a bit?
Yes, I think some of the songs have grown on me a bit, especially because there's live auditions. I think that really helped me. You know what? I have very high standards for Latvia, as I imagine you would have for the UK. It's just, if it doesn't reach my standards, I will be just dramatic. I will cry and yeah, so some of the team members have seen me do that, and I do not wish that sadness upon anyone.
Just to clarify, I have absolutely no expectations for the UK. There is a reason why I'm applying for citizenship for Cyprus, and that's not because and Eurovision has a lot more to do with it than I would like to admit. So yeah. You alluded to who the big favourite is, so I think we should just jump straight in. Closing the national final, which is usually a very strong position, we have Samantha Tina with Still Breathing. She was obviously in the national final last year with Cutting the Wire, which was definitely elevated by her performance style and by the staging. But I'm personally very happy to see her with a much better song. And I think the fans have rewarded that. I mean, if you look at YouTube views, she is storming ahead. She has 112,000 views at the time of recording. And that is a solid 40,000 views above the next song down, which is Anna's Polyester. And then Katrina Demanta is down with 66,000. So there's a clear lead there. And likewise on streaming, she has around 50,000 streams, which is far beyond her competitors. So if those statistics factor into the public voting, then she's already got a good lead, I would say. I'm not sure how popular she is in Latvia and how that will factor into the televote. Could you, do you know? Would you be able to comment on that?
So she's quite popular. I'd say she's more popular than some of the acts that have not made it to the final. However, I must say I think she's got it in the bag. I think it's Supernova is hers to lose and not hers to win. She's got I think she's going to be loved by the jury. She's very popular in Latvia, but actually she's declared her residency in Lithuania. So I'm not sure if we have Lithuania in our semifinal, but she's had I think 200 concerts or so over the last 12 months over there in Lithuania. I think she's got it. The song is great. I still remember writing the article for the website where I just looked at the interview she had with another Latvian website, and she said her worst nightmare that she had recently was someone else performed that song. And you know what? I thought, I wonder how it will be. And then I heard the song, and I was like, it's interesting, it's very different, and it's very powerful. But it really came alive for me during the auditions. I think she outperformed everyone. She came as a full package. This song really suits her, I think. It suits her personality. It shows her in the best light. And I think it's miles better than anything else she sent to Supernova. And we know that she's always done very well. I think she came runner-up 10 years ago or 2012, whenever it was. So I think it's her time. She's still breathing, as the lyrics say. And I kind of like that she's not giving up. So I think it's hers to win. I'd be very proud to have her represent Latvia. Yeah, I think her two main competitors in the final will be, and this is just from my point of view, it would be Katrina Dimanta with Heartbeat. So she's part of Arzemnieki, who represented us in 2014. And probably Edgar's. I think those two would be the biggest competitors. What do you think?
I would agree. Just to bring up the other stats, I mentioned YouTube, but on my Eurovision scoreboard, which is the least reliable way of predicting how a national final is going to go, because it's Eurovision fans. But amongst Eurovision fans, Edgar's is only 600 points behind Samantha Tina. Mm-hmm. And then Anna's down with a couple thousand beneath that. So, and Edgar's is decent in streaming. I think he has about 51,000 YouTube views and about 10,000 YouTube Spotify streams. Although note that Still Breathing was on Spotify, I think, before all the others, so it did have a bit of a head start. And Edgar's is also very liked. He's a good singer. This is his third consecutive year in Supernova, I believe. He had Younger Days, then he had Cherry Absinthe last year. I think, again, this is his best song. I find it a bit wishy-washy. I think the mixing of his vocals could be higher. And I think the production kind of swallows the song up a bit. And I think, by contrast, Samantha Tina, she pierces through a very heavy instrumental and it makes it quite impactful. But I think, generally, like you said, the field is a lot stronger. I think Polyester is a really fun song, as is Katrina. I call her Katrina 2 because she's fifth in the running order. So Katrina Demanta, Heartbeats is it's a very interesting song. There won't be another song.
It's a very Latvian song.
Yes, and there won't be a song like that in Rotterdam. And it's very charismatic. I think the juries will go for it. I just think it's like last year. Carousel was a really odd choice, which is why I'm a bit nervous about the national final, because you don't really know who the Latvian jurors are going to pick. And how will that, because obviously Carousel didn't really convert well onto the Eurovision stage. How does a song like Heartbeats convert? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think there are a couple of options, but like you said, Still Breathing feels like the right one.
I'd like to chat with you about Polyester. So that, I have to say, is probably my second favorite, together with Samantha Tina. I find the lyrics to be just exceptional. I like songs with smart lyrics. And you know what? It's a little silly, and Latvia is known for being silly. And I kind of like it. You know what? I used to hate it, but now, who else will sing about cakes? Who else will sing about T-shirts? And I think one of the top comments under her song said, "Imagine this in Rotterdam. Anna says T-shirts, audience says need more." And it's just so jolly. I think she also has gotten some good media attention. So there was a whole article going around the news where the Dutch media have been saying, you'll have to vote for Latvia in the final. because Anna will represent Latvia, and she's Dutch, pretty much, because she spends most of her time in Amsterdam. So she had a whole day of interviews, so she's been all over the place. I think it would be, again, a very unusual song. As some of my pals have mentioned, it's very Billie Eilish. So that's, again, very contemporary. But the danger there is Bulgaria. I have a feeling they could come up with something similar. Nevertheless, I do not know how audiences would reward it in Eurovision. I wouldn't mind if it went. So I think it would be that. And one more song I want to mention is Katrina with I Will Break Your Heart. That's a guilty pleasure of mine. There's something mystical and sexual about the song. And I don't know if I'm the only one, but in the first couple of seconds, I'm like, am I listening to Belgium 2015? And you know what? It's a very good song. It reminds me a little bit of Louder Risotto, but more powerful, perhaps. I don't know what you think of that song's chances.
I think it's the way I feel about I Will Break Your Heart is exactly how I felt about Funny Girl. Was the song Funny Girl?
Yes.
Okay. I really like it, but it's completely uncompetitive. Like it will just go nowhere. It could probably score top 10 in the jury vote, but it's going to be like bottom of the televote, and it's not worth doing that again, especially because you have a lot of memorable songs. Like you said, Polyester, even if it doesn't qualify, it's going to become one of those songs that everyone talks about and everyone thinks about. There's merch ideas around there. It's going to be like a fan favorite. And I think there's worth and there's meaning in sending a song that people remember, even if it doesn't do that well. And I think that was a problem with That Night. No one remembers it. It was a lovely song, but it hasn't had any impact. And I think you have some options here to really have some impact. And I would like to see you harness that potential. And I think if Still Breathing goes to Eurovision, I think it will qualify, especially looking at the countries we have, the artists we have for them, the selections we have for them. There won't be anything like it, I don't think. So I think it'll be a wise idea.
I definitely agree.
Yeah.
And I've noticed we've spoken about a couple of artists who are in the final. And there's a lot of the ones that I think, just do not stand out. However, there's one entrant who is always there and is not here this year. And I think that's probably the biggest advantage point to some contestants. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I wonder.
It's impossible not to know. I think Marcus's absence will be felt very strongly, especially by some fans. What I find very interesting about myself and a lot of Eurovision fans is how much we love returning artists. I feel like we all build relationships with them, so it always feels quite painful when we do not see them. However, I think he should try again, but just like Edgar's, I think the guys, they have to find a song that doesn't just sound contemporary, but the songs that also fits their personality and their voice. So I think that's a big learning curve for them. I think Samantha Tina has finally found it. It suits everything. It ticks all of the boxes for me. And there's a lot of other artists. I think Mick Stuckers, he's one of the performers. I think his songs is I'm Falling for You. And
Yes.
I think he exemplifies that. I think he, again, is going to be the strongest male contender, probably, because, again, Latvians, we like a little bit of rock. We like a little bit of rawness in our songs.
You're making me nervous because I really don't want that song to win, and it might. I just feel like it's too perfect. I feel like in 2020, 2019, these years, unpredictable politics, gone are the days where a song would just walk a national final unless it's really corrupt, like Belarus last year, which I have no qualms about because I liked that song and I wanted it to win. I think we'll have to see. I think it's easy to kind of say, oh, Sam Tina's going to walk it. We'd obviously like that to happen, but I think there's only a few songs I would count out. And those would be probably only the first two songs in the lineup. So Celeste and Drixner, those two songs I would probably discard because they're weak, and I think they could have had Madara and Marcus Reva in there instead, but too late for that.
I must disagree. I think Celeste's song, again, is very quintessentially Latvian, and I like that she wrote the song herself, and I think she's still in high school. She's 17 or something, and that's impressive. And I think one of the aims of Supernova was to show the explosion, the artistic explosion of new artists, new and up-and-coming artists. And I think, again, Celeste is just doing that. I think I haven't seen Drixna before in the national final. So I think, again, I must say compliments to the producers, because we need to see new talent, because otherwise we'll just see Marcus Riva every year, which I am sure nobody minds. He's become, it will not be real Supernova without him. But at the same time, it's very important for Latvia to nourish new talent.
I agree. I think that's a good note to end on. So we kind of think Samantha Tina, if everything goes well, representing Latvia, but we accept that that might not be the case, and we will support whoever goes, because that will be...
I have no choice.
Exactly. You kind of have to. You're stuck with them.
Yes. Well, I'm not stuck with them. I'm just... Every year I watch it, and it's 9th or 10th qualifier, and I always hope it's Latvia. And you know what? When Aminata qualified as 9th in 2015, I had tears in my eyes. So I'm ready for whoever Latvia sends to do the same for me. So, yeah, I think we should all watch it. And I hope ESCXTRA YouTube viewers and readers also share their opinions. So, guys, who do you think will win?
Perfect segue. On that note, we are going to say goodbye, Latvian.
Ata!
And see you soon. We have some more content coming shortly.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.